Hello, welcome to the Ultimate Movie Show. This is the first episode, and I guess I'll apologize in advance if I sound a little nervous or if the episode is a disaster. Without further ado, I will bring out my first guest, and sure, some of you may know him, and it is the Films Critic, one of the best and most popular pages on the platform. I guess we'll just do it better. Just do a better take.
It's happened with me as well, trust me.
No, unfortunately, I was recording, but thank you for joining me, the Films Critic, again.
So my name's Satch, and I run the Films Critic, and my favourite films are The Lord of the Rings and Christopher Nolan's films. I also have a podcast where I talk about The Lord of the Rings with my co-host Shan, a film forager. Hobbies include going to the gym, recently bouldering, reading, writing, or at least trying to, dancing.
Oh, right. Yes, dancing.
And that's pretty much it, I think. Unless you trigger my memory.
Oh, right, because we had to do this again. So I'm just going to... I know you were working on a short film, and if you just want to talk about how that's been going, or...
Yeah. So that started... So I had a couple of ideas, to be honest, as does anyone who... who's interested in it or does it. One of them I still want to do, but I've put it on hold. Another one which I started on back in April. Wait, when did Morbius come out? The reason why I'm asking.
What, that one inspired you? I'm assuming. Morbius? No.
It's in a weird way, yeah. As in, it's nothing to do with vampires or anything to do with that.
Yeah.
Long story short, the short film that I'm working on now, I'm on like my third draft of it at the moment, so I've finished it.
Yeah.
And now I'm just like retuning it over and over. I think it was the 5th of April, so I've been working on it for like a month now. And one of my best friends, he's pretty much like my editor, and I send it to him like on a weekly basis to like fine tune it and try and make it the best it can be.
If there are any particular films or people, actors, trainers, or stunt people who have motivated you in terms of exercising, working out, or being healthy?
Yeah. So recently, there's I'm probably going to butcher his name, but do you know he's basically Alexander Skarsgård's trainer?
Oh yeah,
Magnus Limbeck. Because he seems like the type of like trainer who like he knows the fine balance between like eating healthily and like knowing when you can have like ice cream and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In terms of like actors, I guess Hugh Jackman.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because he said himself that he wasn't nearly as ripped, even though he was. I mean, he was pretty ripped.
Yeah. When he first started, right?
Yeah.
And then he just gets more ripped as he goes.
Yeah.
Because he's aging too, so it's very impressive, you know. I really should be, but I've always wanted to be fit or healthy and stuff like that. In terms of like a body goal, it's if you remember Christian Bale in Batman Begins, I feel like he was like beefy, but not ripped. I don't know. I feel like with that, you can eat anything you want, but also look fit. Or you're just like you're just big. Tom Cruise. I just love the guy being that like one of the biggest actors in the world, but also maybe he's just exaggerating a little bit, but he risks his life, in some ways, and he does it all in camera. Yeah. Even though I probably don't have the courage to do that, but I would like to strive to do some of that stuff. If you want to let the audience know your workout routine, what do you do? Like, what's the workout routine of Satch in a week?
So these days, I'm pretty much doing like each muscle group every day. So I'm going every day to the gym.
Each muscle
I didn't
group
used to
in
do.
A day?
I said each like major one. So like, so Monday would be back, which is the most important, I'd say. And then probably legs on Tuesday, shoulders, biceps, triceps, a day for cardio as well.
Yeah.
And the last day, I might choose to rest, or oh gosh, I can't remember.
You do it so much.
Usually, sometimes I might rest, or sometimes I might just work on something that I feel like I need to work on a bit more. If I don't go to the gym, I probably do bouldering.
A few years ago, with a high school friend, his dad would pay for the monthly fee or whatever, and we would go bouldering here and there, and it's great. I love bouldering. I wish I did it more. It really obviously it kind of works out everything, right? Obviously, with the legs, but I would assume more of the upper body, and then obviously fingers and hands.
Yeah, no, honestly, literally everything. When I first did it, even now, it really rounds out your body. Like
Yeah.
I like things were being worked on that I didn't even know could be worked on, because you're putting yourself in all these like weird positions to obviously climb whatever route that you choose. And the great thing with bouldering is like you don't have to be. In fact, it would help if you're maybe not as like ripped or henched, because like a lot of like the best climbers, they're like very lean. Very flexible.
I guess to explain a little bit for people who don't know, bouldering, I'm sure they have an idea, but you obviously climb a wall, and it's as if you're climbing rocks, but it's indoor rock climbing. And bouldering is not as high as with the belaying section, which is obviously, I think, I would assume towards the ceiling, but bouldering is, I would assume, half height, so you could do it without a rope. And they have different routes that you can go. Obviously, ones are easier than others. And then there's ones that you start literally like hanging, right? You've seen like some of those people, and I think what Jason Momoa, I think he does some rock climbing, and he once started out, at the bottom, you're literally like you're hanging instead of vertical, and I'm just like, and he's a big guy, so he has a lot of strength. In terms of food, what's your diet like?
To be honest, it's like I eat anything, but when I say that,
good.
I try to cut out, like I don't really eat that much like sweets or cakes, or stuff like that, or like crisps, or you call it chips, right? With every meal, apart from like breakfast, but even with breakfast, you can have like protein as well. I just try to have just as much as I can, not like force feed, but like just make sure I'm getting just enough of it. I don't know if I should be, but I pretty much have protein shake every day, but that's only because I go to the gym every day. But the thing is, too much protein isn't good for you either. But like just having enough, especially if you are like working out. They say it's like a gram per body weight. So if you weigh like 70 kilograms, then have like 70 grams of protein in like each of your meals.
That went over my head. I don't know.
But more importantly, just making sure you have enough water as well.
All right, I get it. You're just, I'll do it.
Actually, it isn't recent, to be honest, but I've been doing it for a while. But I've been doing the intermittent fasting thing.
Intermittent fasting, yeah. So you eat during a certain window, right? And you don't eat for the rest of that time?
Yeah. So I start eating at like 12, and then max, as in the last time I eat, is like 9. So like 8 to 9 hour window. It has helped. And it does mean that you can eat as much as you want in that window.
Yeah. What about sodas? Do you avoid sodas?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, unless I'm like maybe like going out, or like I'm at a party or something, then maybe have like a Diet Coke or something.
No. I feel like if you go to the movie theater, I feel like it's necessary to get a soda.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, that's okay. Do you know what I mean? It's okay. Yeah. Obviously, for us, it's hard because we pretty much go to the movie. We're going all the time.
But I just with everything in moderation, right? It's like
exactly. Yeah.
And I don't know why I just want to throw this in here, but like, what kind of workout music? What's the general music genre do you listen to, or is it all over?
So it's I listen to a lot of instrumental music, and what I mean by that is, like, it's mostly Hans Zimmer.
There we go. I was looking for that answer. You got Tenet running in the back. You're running backwards.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Listening to the soundtrack for sure. Just because in terms of like action scenes. So if you have any favorite, or in your opinion, the best hand-to-hand combat fight scenes, and don't steal mine.
I'll try not to. So one for me that sticks out is the kitchen fight scene in the Raid 2.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw that, I was genuinely like on the edge of my seat, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!" And the choreography is just insane, like insane. Have you seen the Raid and the Raid 2?
It's been a while, but I have seen both the Raid movies. As I was looking at my choices, I've noticed most of them involve Christopher Nolan. I don't know. I always feel like I have to shout him out because I feel like more and more people are starting to like dislike the guy. I'm like, no,
really?
You don't feel that?
I feel like he's getting more and more love every day, which is what we want, what we need.
Yeah, that's what.
But I know what you mean.
Sure. But I know a lot of people don't perceive Tenet as one of his best works, but the backwards fight scene is just
yeah.
The level of practice and precision that goes into making a fight like that is just it shouldn't go unnoticed.
No, absolutely not.
Both people, John David Washington, the stunt person, they had to learn to fight forwards and backwards, and one had to be backwards and one had to be forwards, and then the other way around. It's incredible. The Dark Knight Rises Bane versus Batman fight. The first time I watched it, it was a midnight screening, and once Batman goes on that bridge and the gate closes, you're just like, Batman, he's not gonna make it out of this. And it's just such a great fight because they're both equal. Well, I wouldn't say equal in terms of physicality because obviously Bane wins, but they're kind of the same. They got trained by Ra's al Ghul. They're both members of League of Shadows. They use similar theatrics and stuff like that. And I don't know. I was on the edge of my seat for that one.
I feel like the Tenet one doesn't get as much recognition, maybe because it came out in 2020.
A lot of people still haven't seen it in terms of like the general public.
Yeah,
because I'll ask my friends who aren't into movies. I'll be like, "Have you seen Tenet?" And they're like, "What's that?" I'm like, oh. And like Christopher Nolan, he's a big name. People know who he is, but they're just unaware that Tenet even came out, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, and Dark Knight Rises, I remember that feeling as well. As in, like, as the fight goes on, it's just more painful to watch. You're like, no, he's not even Bane isn't even like flinching. Like his face is just moving back and forth, just taking the punches.
I love his voice. It's just it's so good.
Yeah.
Mr. Wayne. Like, it's just it's so good.
It's perfect.
Oh, no.
I can't believe I didn't even mention this first time around, because you know how obsessed I am with it. But the Duncan, Idaho versus the Sardica.
Oh, yeah.
I just love that scene so much, man. I love it, honestly.
The Mission Impossible Fallout bathroom fight.
Oh my goodness, yes.
If you want, I'll do it, and then if you want to do it, but if you want to like do the Henry Cavill thing, can you do that for me? Is that possible?
Oh man.
Oh god. I love that. I want to get into talking about, running a movie page. So when did you start The Film's Critic? Because everyone wants to know. And was there a particular moment or movie that inspired you to just make this account?
So my earliest post now dates back to this week, 2 years ago. That's like the earliest you'll find.
Did you delete some posts by any chance?
I did.
I did too.
No, but I deleted I think I deleted 100 posts.
Oh wow!
But that's only because I am my biggest critic.
Yeah.
And I was just reading back over there. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not keeping this.
Yeah.
But I first created the page. I remember the date exactly. It was the 15th of December 2019, and it was literally right after I saw Parasite. I just needed to write a review. Yeah. I need to write a review.
You started earlier than that, or
no.
Oh wow!
I didn't even think about putting it online. I just needed to write a review on it.
Yeah. Just
so I could just have it put out.
And you were like, I'm not doing this on my personal. I gotta create a new account.
Yeah. I thought I needed to I didn't have a goal or anything. I just thought, you know what? Let me just put it here on an account.
Yeah.
Just so it's there for me to see. And then I thought to myself, you know what? I like this. Let me just do another review, and I'll do it tomorrow. And then it just became a daily thing.
I'm glad you kept going because you're obviously one of the best to ever do it.
No.
In terms of now, you have a lot of followers and stuff like that, a lot of engagement. Do you have any advice for anyone who has lower views and stuff like that, and ways they can? Because I'm sure they all want to reach to where you are.
As for advice, I mean, it's like the stuff I was doing to begin with. Like I've cut down on reviews mainly because it's hard to do it on a sometimes even on a weekly basis. Like the peeps that we're following that are doing it so regularly, like I can't commend them enough.
Yeah, that's true.
Honestly, because it's
especially
tough.
how many movies they've seen and stuff.
Yeah,
they're pumping out reviews every day.
You know, you're gonna start somewhere, and even if you don't figure it out, just keep it consistent. That was the one thing, and it's the one thing that I've still like kept.
Yeah,
like that's the one thing that hasn't changed, to be honest. Even though like layouts and whatever will change.
Yeah.
Like as long as you keep consistent, don't obviously like post like, you know, every minute, but if you want to, you can.
Consistency is definitely key, especially with the algorithm. I guess it's bad to, like it kind of forces you in a way to be consistent, but like you said, don't be too consistent.
I think honestly though, with people that are starting their accounts now, or like they've already started theirs, I think, to be honest, in a way, they're kind of luckier than us because they get to choose their own layout. They get to like the map is, do you know what I mean? It's clean, and they can literally just, if they really think about it and they really have a plan, even if they don't have it like fully realized, they can, you know, they can make it their own thing.
That's why I hate you. You know, new accounts. It just, I hope it doesn't come mean spirited. You know, I'm just playing most of the time. But I sometimes see accounts that started like 2 years ago, and they're either halfway what I got or even more, and I'm just like, I guess I don't know if the algorithm favors them more because they're such a new account, instead of like, because I started mine 8 years ago, and they probably think I'm inactive.
Oh my goodness.
So I was like, but that's why, you know, I'm constantly trying to find ways to do different things, you know?
When you started following me, I was so like, oh my god, my mind was blown. It's still blown.
Oh no.
Because it went without saying. Like you'd been doing it for so long.
No matter how big I get, I don't know if that does it. Yeah, I will always try to feel like a small account.
That's the same with me as well. Like, to be honest, like every post of mine that gets some engagement, like I'm grateful for it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you got to say it that way. I think that's another piece of advice I'd give.
Have you felt the stress or the negativity of running one? Like, has like low engagement really like messed with your head?
Not really, to be honest. Like,
you're a better human. Do you have any future ideas for your account, or you're fine the way things are right now?
As much as like it's fun doing what I'm doing and like interacting with it, with like similar pages like yourself, I definitely have a goal to get to the next level, to the filmmaking level with the content that we put out. Like we want to make our own stories as well. So yeah, it's just getting to that.
Thank you, Sash, for being with me, and you know,
thank you, Dave.
You are, you know, you're great. You know, I always knew, you know, I wasn't worried that you would disappoint me because you superseded my expectations of you. So you're a wonderful person, wonderful account. If anyone is watching, please follow the Films Critic. But yeah, thank you again.
Oh no, thank you, David. Thank you.